Hello again, and a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us on our online provision on Dorchester Baptist Church website. Well, it's been an interesting week. There's been all sorts of things in the news, and I thought today, actually, whilst we want to continue to focus on praying for Ukraine and the situation there, I also thought we probably all need a bit of cheering up. So we were watching as a family the news this week, and there were two things that happened. The first was that a trainee person at the BBC, on BBC News, was practicing how to use the little news ticker at the bottom of the screen. And what they didn't realise was that was actually going out live. And so right in the middle of a news report, the words came up, Manchester United are rubbish. And then just after that, the news came up, weather, rain everywhere. And it caused really quite a stir, and the BBC had to apologise. But I have to say, it really just lightened the mood, actually. It brought a smile to our face. And then the very next day, we were sat around the TV just after tea as a family, and we're just talking with the kids, Louise and I, and we were just commenting on it. We were just laughing. And there was a local news report where they were sharing a story about a sound barrier that had been put up by these roadworks. And there was the story about the residents, and it was really high and it blocked out their light and everything else. And as the person was reporting, they cut away to a shot of two of the workmen putting up one of these barriers. I don't know if it was live or whether it was something that someone just didn't notice. But as they were putting up this piece of barrier, they actually dropped it, and one of the guys, you could see him sort of shaking his hand, or he dropped it on his fingers. And I know we shouldn't laugh, but I have to say we all did. We thought it was incredibly funny, and it cheered us up. And I thought, as I was reflecting on my intro for this week, I wonder if you could actually have a little bit of a ticker at the bottom of a page. Maybe you were working in the newsroom and you had control over what got said and what got put out. I wonder what you'd say. If you could say anything at all, just in a very few words, what would it be that you would say? And maybe actually for many of us as Christians, we'd want to do something that actually lets people know about Jesus. That's what we're trying to do with these pages. And then I thought about that incident where the builders dropped the thing, and I've had my own fair share of silly little accidents like that. But I wonder if you can cast your mind back to a time in your life where it's just gone wrong. You hope that something would be a certain way. Maybe you're talking to a friend, or maybe it's something that you're doing, and you just get one of those days where it all goes wrong. And actually, as you think about that, I have many stories of my own where that happened. And I look back now and reflect on it, and we laugh about it as a family, but at the time it didn't seem so funny. Well, I've been reading a little bit in anticipation next week of the Queen's Jubilee. And I've been reading actually about over her life, the influence that she's had, the way that she's been able to speak into so many situations and to so many people. And actually what's really been quite apparent and quite interesting to me is the many, many times that she mentions her faith. And she does it in a way that is authentic, that is honest. And actually I think there's some great things that she's been saying, as well as the many other things that she says. But also I know when you're in the public eye, there's also many clips out there of the Queen or members of the royal family, or actually other famous people, where things just go wrong. And you can't help those things, they just kind of happen. So maybe this week, just think about that. What would you say? And actually, what about those times that went wrong, that you look back on now and you laugh? Actually, those are good things to do and good things to have in our lives in such difficult times. There's been horrendous news this week, and I don't really want to speak into that too much. But I think, as always, as Christians, we need to stop and we need to be praying. I marvelled at the boldness of President Biden, who spoke out so clearly and so eloquently about the shooting in Texas. And I would love us to pray for him, pray for the American people, pray for some sort of way forward in this situation that they find themselves with the gun laws. And for our friends, we opened a cafe last week and this week again for our Ukrainian friends, and many people turned up. It's been just so great to meet up with them, to speak with them, but it's also had a degree of challenge as we hear their stories firsthand, as we speak to them personally about what's been happening for them. And as I've done every week and will continue to do so, please just stop, take a moment to pray for them, pray for their families, pray for that situation, and pray that in some way we see God intervene and bring a resolution to this terrible conflict between Russia and Ukraine. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. Look out for those funny news stories this week, because I'm sure there'll be some. And I hope that you enjoy the clips that we've shared with you. Have a great week.